Chapter 3, Part 1, The Prophet Muhammad. Who was Muhammad? How did the man who received the Quran become an extraordinary leader? Historians have disagreed, yet Muslims believe that the credibility and power of the Quran cannot be separated from the person of the Prophet, the one who received it and passed it on. If revelation was the given of Islam, then its prophet was the inevitable bearer of its character, and thus the way of life it demands of its followers. Muhammad was born in 571 of the Common Era among the Bedouin of the Arabian Peninsula, near the city of Mecca. Muslim understandings of Muhammad have been shaped for generations by what were called the Sirah, or the deeds of the prophet. They tend to paint a man who is a superlative representation of every ancient Arab ideal, and which therefore became the ideal of Muslims worldwide. Thus, in the early Muslim histories, Muhammad is depicted as both a heroic and chivalrous warrior, meticulous and just in peace. His virility and generosity draw both men and women to him naturally, and his honesty makes him the perfect community leader in a duplicitous generation. The rivals and enemies of Islam, particularly Christians, have often used the same information to paint a rather different picture of Muhammad. For early Christians, Muhammad was a heretic because he acknowledged Jesus as a prophet, but not as the Christ. Perhaps the kindest assessment of the earliest period of Christian-Muslim conflict came from Bishop Timothy of Ctesiphon. He recognized the positive and far-reaching changes made in Arab society by Muhammad, but could not, of course, recognize Muhammad as a genuine prophet. So Timothy called Muhammad one who walked in the way of the prophets. 19th century British romantics, obsessed with the great men who built great empires, idolized Muhammad as a leader of men, even if they criticized his religion. Christian missionaries saw him as a rival to Christ, one who was given more loyalty than any human man deserved. And in the 20th century, critics of Muhammad paint him as the opposite of the Christian ideal. They take his military prowess as evidence of being warlike. And indeed, measured by modern ideals, his civil leadership seems dictatorial and his virility almost perverse. But this is to judge an 8th century Arab by standards of the 20th century West, standards that few Christian leaders of Muhammad's time could measure up to either. Each generation judges the man through the lens of its own cultural ideals. And so also modern Muslims find themselves reassessing the ideal Muhammad, even as they continue to look to him as a model for what it means to submit to God's will. To understand Muhammad as a Muslim ideal, then, we need to look at him through Muslim eyes. And that is what we're going to do in the next video. Thank you.